Good morning. It is Mandy from Allendale, little village set in the Central Highlands at the back of Mount Field National Park, Tasmania. This is a story that has continued on 12 months after I began making them last year. It was a story that must find its completion in its own way. You come to realize that a story is a beautiful way of allowing grace to enable itself within your story. And if you try to control that story in any way, something falls away. The power is gone. As I threw these logs in my fire pit, recently some thoughts just dropped in from nowhere, and a single woman who has lived this artistic life for the last 14 years thought to myself, wow, how have I managed to live out actually what was 24 years in a village that comes with the name of being a closed village. I should say closed community. But when I was told it was a closed community, I laughed because I had had many adventures and stories already in other parts of my life, and I knew what isolation was, and I also knew what it was to pull communities together, not to be separated and isolated. So it was almost like the opposite of the black and the white appearing in my life, and having to work with the black. The beauty of telling this little story and using the colour black actually allows the judgment to fall away, which is often held in the English language, but in the colour black, black contains all colours. So you can have this circle of black that is fairly negative and isolating, as I've said, but it can also transform in its own way into the full colours of all of the colours in its own way. You can't control it, you just need to let it transform. As I tell this story, unscripted, not apologising for the R's, because it's not an easy thing to do, to be a conduit, really. Basically, that is what a lot of artists are that do this kind of work. They're a conduit. These sorts of artists have broken out of the structure of the normal caged way, and that's a pretty harsh word, but the normal structures of doing art, the normal ways of putting themselves out, because they find that the normal structures are too limiting for their brain waves that are open to different levels of connection. And those different levels of connection, grace, spirituality that come with these higher brain waves simply do not fit into the structure. So then they are thrown out onto a road that is indeed again like the black, the darker side of the black, walking in the dark, not knowing where to go. Using the metaphor of the black again, some artists fall into that very disconnected, painful, labelled all sorts of pretty nasty stuff. But there's the other side of the black. And Christians will know this prayer, that it is more safer to go out on a dark night with your hand held in the hand of God than to walk in the safe, structured path. Now, I've put that into my own words. There is a proper prayer there, but I've just done it in the moment. But it's very true. And many times I've had to simply take that path into the unknown, but knowing that that black is not empty and disconnected, knowing that that black almost supports me and holds me, even though I can't see the lights, but I know that that black has all of those colours around me, just haven't transformed fully through me. The story is still going, and all you can do is to sit with your logs, the refinement that happens in the fire. But again, the circle in the fire pit, that circle that goes out and out, it meets itself. And like the metaphor of the black, the transformation, the falling away of the judgment in that transformation, as the circle meets itself, grace again steps in, and everything in between that circle, the meeting, also falls away. And then there is room for expansion. It can do nothing else but expand.